All right. This is live. Hello. Hello. How are you guys? I've had so many of you the last few weeks thanking me so much for being live. And I just want to say thank you so much for sharing with me how these lives are helping you, sharing with me different topics and questions and different ways that you see, oh yeah, this is working, or different ways you're like, I don't know how to get it to work. I see the idea, but how do I apply it? And so many of you are working with me now as clients and taking this on. And I am proud of you, whether you're just here in the live. I am proud of you, whether you're just watching the replays. I'm proud of you, whether you're just doing the work individually, allowing yourself to realize it's all just taking those steps. It's not making yourself feel bad anywhere along the way, right? And that's so, so, so important. And that's actually part of what we're going to be talking about today. So, um, before I jump into that, first of all, I want to remind you guys, who am I, for those of you who are new, and why am I here? My name is Tammy Workman-Lopez. I am a anxiety relief coach, and I help individuals with their anxiety relief, looking at their wellness, helping them with different areas that it may create or get them stuck in their life, not taking care of their health, not getting the relationships they want, or being in relationships they don't know how to work with, or getting themselves in their career or their business in the place where they want to be. And so with this work, I'm able to help. I'm able to help you be able to see, this is what's in my way. I'm able to help you to see, oh, this negative thinking, this is how I can change it. This is how I can create real solutions. This is how I can take on my life. I can make more time for myself. I can create what I need to in relationships. So I'm communicating and I'm creating connection, and they understand me and I understand them, and life feels so much better. And because of that, I know how to address things at work. And because of this work, I know how to address things with my business. I'm following through, I'm moving forward, I'm leveling up. And I do this work because I was there, right? I myself am a business owner. I myself have dealt with strong levels of anxiety, insecurity, not good enough, perfectionism, you name it. I've been through various levels of trauma. And so I was stuck in believing my beliefs. I was stuck in the negative thinking. I was stuck in all of that being true, including believing that my faith was not strong enough, because clearly it wasn't if God wasn't helping me fix it. So it's important that we take a look at how we can grow the trust in ourselves. And as we grow the trust in ourselves by doing these steps, we also see that we're growing our faith. Because who created you? Who is your number one fan? Maybe you never thought about it like that. But have you ever met a most amazing parent and you're like, wow, they really love their kid. They love their kids so much. They give them the proper guidance. They give them the proper know-how. They give them the proper commitment. They hold their feet to the fire, and yet they're still helping them to grow and learn and develop. They're supporting them, and they're also giving them firm discipline that says, no, you're going to deal with your own consequences. I'm not enabling you. That is how you are. You are that child that your father, and we say father, right? But we know that spiritual beings, there is no mother-father experience. There's no sexuality per se, but the strength of a father, the love and guidance and nurturing of a mother. So we are able to see that you were created to be loved. You were created to be cherished. You were created for relationship. That is exactly why you were created. No other reason. You weren't created to be perfect. You weren't created to be, some other kind of angelical being that you're not. So many people try to thrive to be an angel, right? Been there. So we can just look at those things and we can laugh at ourselves and we can go, oh yeah, I'm not born to be perfect. I'm born to learn and love and be perfectly me. And so today we're going to take a look at that, how you can really see yourself to be perfectly you, because that is what you were designed for. That is who you are meant to be. That's it. And so when you allow yourself to realize that, to love that, to step into that, then you accept yourself. You accept yourself for who you are, who you were meant to be, because if you have a child or you have, it's not the same, but if you have a pet, it's similar. You don't expect them to be perfect. You actually expect them to mess up. You expect them to be them. You expect that they're not going to know how to do things. You expect that they're probably going to make mistakes. And as they're developing and growing as a child, you even expect that they're maybe not going to be honest sometimes because they don't know the full consequences of their behavior, right? So you expect that they're going to screw up. You expect that they're probably going to lie. You expect they're probably going to take something that doesn't belong to them, and you're going to correct them, and you're going to teach them, and you're going to guide them. And so you can allow yourself, as you're living your own life, to realize the same exact thing is true for you. We have this idea that once we grow up, perfect. Perfect. You're supposed to be perfect. They're supposed to be perfect. And if we're not perfect, oh gosh, that's a problem. Total problem. They're not perfect. Oh, they're not perfect. They're gonna know I'm not perfect. Right? So I do that to help you see we can allow ourselves to have fun with this. It doesn't have to be painful, right? We can look at where we're coming from, we can look at where we want to go, and we can see the development and the process and the change without pain, without judgment, without harsh criticism, without resentment. We can make changes and feel good about it. We can make changes and enjoy it. We can make changes and go, heck yeah, look at what I'm doing. This is so great. Like when we're little kids, hey, mom, watch me. Hey, dad, watch me. Or maybe you didn't have a mom and dad like that, but you wished that somebody was there for you. Now you can see the same thing for you. You are the one now creating that for yourself, right? Maybe you didn't know that. So we're going to take a look at these different areas, and it's okay if you don't know how to practice them. That's what I'm here for. So 7 areas, you can jot them down, and there's things in each area. So it's not like, oh, if I do all these 7 perfectly, this isn't about being perfect. We kind of can fall back on our habits if we don't realize it. This is about you looking at these steps, implementing them to the best of your ability, seeing what works, and seeing what doesn't. What doesn't work guides you for what you need to work on. And my whole goal is to help people take a look at where negative thinking is getting in their way and bogging them down, affecting their emotions, causing them to believe things that are not helpful, believe things about others that are not helpful, about themselves, about their life, about their situations, that brings them down to a place of just stuck. And doing this kind of work will help you get unstuck. And it gives you step-by-step supports to help remind you how to stay unstuck. All right, number 1. First, you're going to notice the negative thought. And you might be going, what negative thought? Here's one. If I'm saying to myself, I want to grow my faith, and I say it like that, I want to grow my faith. I want to grow my trust. Okay, great. So I'm wanting to grow it out of wanting development. But what if I say it like this? Yeah, I want to grow my faith and I want to grow my trust. It's not where I want it to be. How does that feel? And that's where so many people are coming from. And when I connect to that, because I've been there, all I feel is pain and not enough. Not good enough, not good enough for God, not good enough for a relationship. This experience of failing, and not failing like, oh, I failed, now I get to see what to do next, but like, I failed, I'm a failure, I don't have the relationship I should have, right? So notice the negative thought by noticing how you feel. If you have a negative emotion going on or a negative feeling in your body like tension or gripping headaches or this experience of frustration or depressed or sad or angry or feeling like not a part, feeling separate, feeling isolated or alone, those are coming from negative thoughts. So jot down those negative thoughts, get them out of your head. That way you'll realize they're just something you created, right? They're not a part of you. You created and you ruminate, so then it becomes part of you. But once you get it out and you realize, oh, that's over there, I created that. I don't have to live with that in here. I can change that. It helps create clarity. Then it also helps you to go, ooh, that's a doozy. No wonder I'm feeling terrible. That's what I was saying to myself with that tone. Ooh, if I said that to somebody else, gosh, I'd knock me down. So take a look at that so you can get clear about it, right? Help you get real grounded in what it is that you're doing with that process. Then you're going to take a look at the emotion. So we named a few, right? Anger, sadness, I'm tired of this, separation, lonely, sad. Take a look at what the emotions are. There's a book that I recommend called The Secret Language of Feelings. And as you look at that book, and there's others, by the way, there's not one you have to look at, but I like that one a lot because it breaks it down into 10 emotions. And then it helps you to see there's more like 8. And when those are not taken care of, then you get into frustration. Being able to see that frustration itself is not an emotion by itself, that it comes because you're not taking care of the others. So when you hit frustration, it's like a red flag going ding, 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 ding. You're not taking care of one of these or all of these. That's why I'm feeling frustration. And then it explains that depression is not an emotion by itself. The author explains that depression comes when frustration gets so high that your body really can't take it anymore. And so it needs to begin to depress what you're doing to yourself so you can calm down and not have a brain aneurysm or a heart attack or a nervous breakdown. And those are just extremes. It also calms you down when your emotions are just so high and your heart is beating really fast and you're just like, rah, and I don't know, and all these emotions, and it's like a roller coaster and I can't even tell what I'm feeling because it's all happening at one time. And sometimes it's not just all negative. Sometimes it could be like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I got a new job. Oh God, I've got to do this and I got to do that and I got to, but it's so great because right? It could be like intense. And you notice my voice? It could take you higher, 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 higher. It brings your energy and your frequency so high that your throat can't handle it, your thoughts can't handle it, your blood pressure can't handle it, your body needs to decompress. Depression. And I like how he breaks it down like that because oftentimes we get ourselves caught up in frustration, like, I'm so frustrated, I don't know what to do. Because if we realize that frustration is from all these other emotions, we break it down instead and see what each emotion needs, then we know what to do. Yeah? That builds your trust in yourself. And where this goes spiritually, God gave you that process, guys. He said, you guys, I'm going to give you an automatic response to your thoughts to help you keep them in check. Because your brain is here for you to use it. Your brain is your computer. You're a spiritual being, and I'm going to give you this computer brain. And you're going to be like, think about your spirit as the driver, right? And your brain is the car, right? And it helps you to be able to maneuver what you want to do. Or like another term, so I like to think of the body as the car, right? So the body's the car. The brain is the computer that you're using with the software, and your spirit is you, the user. And so as you're beginning to see how you're using your brain to think things, your body responds with these emotions to guide that thinking. What if you thought about it like that? Then you can allow yourself to take a look and see, what is it I am doing here? What am I creating? What's the relationship I'm creating with myself with these thoughts? Gosh, not looking too good, but you can change it. And that's the thing to keep in mind. And I know you might be listening to these things going, easy for you to say, no, 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 no. It's not. I've learned these things and I've practiced these things before I then learned them to help you with them. I've done years of education, years of training, years of personal development, years of guiding and helping other people, and seeing the tools I was using wasn't giving them solid results. Not with their thinking, not with their emotions, not with their overall real life struggles. It was helping them with little things. It helps them with their tasks, so then they feel a bit more confident. But they would still choose the wrong relationships. They would still not take care of themselves. They were still emotionally falling apart. That's what was happening to me. my life looked fine. Nobody knew anything. I was like, literally, I was said to be the face of foster care because I succeeded. I got my education. I was able to use the independent living program and help me, stand on my own 2 feet, even though my parents, they weren't available. They didn't know how to be emotionally supportive. They really weren't. It was all about what I wasn't instead of about what I was. Both of my parents unintentionally just screwed with my head and my heart and my life. So I didn't have that support there. So I learned how to get support around me. And that's something you want to do. You want to learn how you can get support around you and be okay with the fact that you might not be able to get it from who you want. You want to get it from mom, you want to get it from dad. Doesn't matter how old you are. I wanted support from my mom and dad my whole life. Even now, I would really like for my dad to be a dad. I don't see it's going to happen. I don't see it's going to happen until the day he dies. And I get to be okay with that because I don't want to put myself through the emotional turmoil. I get to stay in an attitude of forgiveness that says I set my boundaries with him. He's not going to mistreat me in any way, and that's been settled, right? And I'm not going to mistreat myself by expecting from him something he can't give. It's disappointing, but I'm not going to set those expectations and have myself disappointed over and over and over and over. And yes, I do have to work on it because there is a part of me that when I was a little kid, I really looked up to that person. I really thought that that was going to be like the perfect dad, the dad who's there for you, the dad who can guide you, the dad who can support you, right? And I used to cry and cry and cry and cry. I wanted so much for my mom to be, my mom. And then taking it to the spiritual side, oh boy, because of the way I grew up and what I was taught, I knew for a fact, this was not a thought like, oh, I think this. This was, I know it. I knew that God did not want me. I knew that I was bad. I knew that when I died, I was going to hell. I knew that I was a failure. And I knew I was just biding my time before I died and was ending up in hell. And this was based on the fact of how I was treated. I was treated like I was a bad girl all the time. And what happens to bad girls? They're a sinner. They're never doing anything right. They're bad. And what happens to bad people? I connected it to I'm going to hell. Now, was all of that true? No. I believed in God. That was it. That was the only truth. I didn't know all that other stuff. But it was all mixed up and jumbled up. And then we grow up and we still have it. And I still had that information into my teenage years until I joined a church of a pastor who is no longer a pastor. He did mess up. However, before he messed up, he taught some really good things. And it's important to know that even if we mess up, the information we give and share in the people's lives we change, they're still changed. It's still happening. So creating that relationship, that was number 3. Relationship with others around you, relationship with yourself. Notice your negative thinking and how it may have created a separation in your relationship, even with God. And how much you don't deserve that. How painful that is. All right, I'm just going to take a look here and see any questions you guys might have. Please do let me know any questions you have. I'll make sure to address them live here today. I do this every week on Wednesday, 8:15. For June and July, I was also doing it for Thursday, but it's now August, so you won't be seeing me on Thursday for some time just because time gets so busy. Okay, Melissa says, good morning. Miriam says, good morning. Good morning, guys. Let me know if you do have any questions. I want to make sure to address those with you. Okay, number 4. We're going to make sure that we read into God's word. Now, whatever that looks like for you, people have it like, you've got to go to church and you've got to read God's word. You know how many people go to God at church and read his word and they're not nice. They're mean, and they can use God's word and they can use the fact that they go to church to be even more mean. So it's important to realize the things you're doing, that doesn't make you spiritual. That doesn't make you godly. When you know who God is and what God's about, and you mirror and mimic that, right? All throughout the Bible, Jesus was saying the whole time, if you see me and how I'm being, you'll see my Father. So if you're a kid, which you are, and you have a parent, and there's something about that parent that you like tremendously, you're going to mimic that. You're going to mirror that. So when we see children, we're like, "Ooh, we know where they got that from," because they're mirroring and mimicking their parent. That's what he meant when he was saying that. When you see me, you see my Father in these things. He never said, "I am God." He always said, "Don't worship me, worship God." And that's the same thing. If you make mistakes, God doesn't beat you down and tell you you're worthless and you're not good enough and you don't have a good relationship with him. He says, trust that I made you. Trust that you're a wonderful human being. And let's say you don't believe in God, right? You believe universe, you believe love, you believe whatever you believe. It's the same concept. So take that same concept and implement it into you. You are here on this earth to be love. Why do you think it's such an urge? Why do you think there feels like such a void? Because there's also a relationship you're meant to have with this beautiful being. And if you believe universe, or everybody's spiritual journey is theirs. And so I hold no judgment or anything on where people are at. So whatever term you want to use, it's perfect for you. You're on your journey and you're going to figure it out. But I'll use the words of my journey. And so if you allow yourself to think about that relationship, that most loving parent who loves you more than you've ever been loved, more than you've ever loved. And it's hard to imagine, because if you've never loved that or been loved more than you have, just be in that for a moment. Let that love, just breathe that in. And if that's a little hard for you to do, think about someone that you love so much that it hurts. And if you haven't had that experience yet, think about the person you want to love, the relationship you want to have, the connection that you know you can have, or whether it's been with a pet. Again, it's a bit different than a human relationship, but right, you still feel that deep love and that deep caring and that deep compassion. Think about it from you to them. Feel it, feel it, feel it. And now just for a moment, take them out of the picture and put you there and allow that love to flow, creating that relationship, realizing God loves you that much, so much so that your body was created to breathe for you, your heart to beat for you, your emotions to guide you, your digestive system to take care of you, your skeletal system to hold you up, to hold you from within. You're being held from within. Your skin to be able to hold all your parts together, you're being held from the outside in. If we think about how we were even created, you would never say, I need to grow my spiritual relationship. You would just think about your design and connect. Oh my gosh, I'm so wonderfully made, beautifully created. The intricate parts of me were designed to love, to make a difference, to be out in the world. We're asked to love one another, love God, and love ourselves. And when you step into that, that is you creating a spiritual relationship with God, because all of that is part of it. So number 4, that's where you're going to read the word and practice. And so like this book here, the Daily Dose of Declaration, it's got verses, it's got quotes, it's got inspirations. I'm in this book with other authors. We brought these things together to bring that spiritual connection, inspiration to your wiser self. So when you're in that space of low energy, low frequency of negative emotions and beating yourself up, it can bring you out and go, oh yeah, I don't have to do that, right? These are just emotions that are supposed to guide me. This is where I get to live. This is where I get to practice. This is where I get to be. And then that takes me to number 5. Trust that you're not alone. Trust that if you're in pain, you are not meant to be there alone. Now, we as human beings have created things to help us, like our medical world to help us, our holistic world to help us. And so those things are there to remind you you're not alone in that regard. And who did that? Human beings did that. But who gave us the mind? Something way bigger than us, right? And so you can allow yourself to realize I can trust even in the midst of my pain. You can trust that you are not alone, that your bones remind you you are loved and held from the inside. Your breath reminds you how important your life is, that it breathes for you. Your digestion happens without you, so your body can function properly. If we take care of what we put into it, body's going to take care of itself. It's going to heal itself. It's going to handle the stuff going on. Now, of course, there may be some other things that, there may be a malformed cell or things going on that need extra help, from the medical world or the holistic world. But overall, the body will heal itself each and every day as you sleep, as you give yourself the food you need, give yourself the rest you need. The body does the rest. And then with your mind, you give itself the education and the training it needs. So those are just some extra tips that are not in the 7, but you can definitely keep those in mind and jot them down. So it may actually make it like 11 tips. So moving into number 6, I want to help you practice something called hypno prayer. And the idea, you can call it meditation prayer, you can call it quiet time, you can call it grounding. Whatever it is that you want to call it is using your thinking and your grounding and your imagination to support you instead of hurt you. Oftentimes we'll have a prayer that sounds something like, God, please help. I'm in so much pain. Please help this other person. Help them, help. And you hear the despair. You hear the panic. You hear the pain. What if instead it sounded like this? And I was feeling that, so I got to kind of shift out of it. Give me 1 second. All right. Taking a deep breath in, and notice that was a shift, right? We can put ourselves into that negative energy, that negative vibration, and we can shift ourselves out of it. It's an intention. So I want you to see that intention there. Breathing literally forces away any tension that's in the throat, forces away tension that's in the shoulders and in the chest and in the arms, right? And this time I want you to take a deep breath and stretch your arms backwards. It opens up the chest, allows you to breathe in even more. And notice I'm holding the breath a little bit. And take in it as you're holding the breath. So let's practice this again. I'm going to breathe out. Breathe in and hold it. And that's as deep as you can. And I want you to take in another breath. So you'll notice an even deeper stretch. And you might even take in another breath. So I had to let that go because that was a lot. Now, if you feel a little lightheaded, that's just because your body's getting a lot more oxygen than you ever give it. Notice that. Notice your body works great with oxygen. Oxygen takes your body into a deeper healing process. Give your body the oxygen it needs. So with this hypno prayer, we're giving our body relaxation, with calming our breath, choosing to step away from negative energy, negative thinking, negative emotions, shifting into I'm connecting to source, I'm connecting to God, I'm connecting to love, I'm connecting to that beautiful relationship of love, more love than anything I've ever experienced here on a human existence. My wiser self, my nurturing self, my I know I can do this self connects and plugs in. My energy feels higher. That breathing and stretching I did opens up my body, grounding me, having your feet on the floor, or even if you're laying on the floor, having your hands, your body on the floor, feeling yourself connecting, imagining yourself connecting like a tree into the earth. So what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to program time, but I'm going to go over with you guys. You're allowing yourself to program your mind in a different way. And that's why I call it hypno, because hypnosis, self-hypnosis, is just changing your programming. It's self-hypnosis is you focusing on something that isn't happening, imagining on something that isn't happening, and putting all your senses into it. So like being in the car and having an argument with someone that's not there and it's just in your head, and you pass your exit. That's because you were practicing self-hypnosis. So we're going to take that self-hypnosis into prayer, growing our spiritual relationship. And we're going to use these other tools. So I'll open my eyes a couple times to look at these tools to remind. So number one, I noticed the negative thought and I released it. Number two, noticing the emotion. Is there anger in my chest? Is there sadness in my throat? Or do I feel it all in my head? Right? And that's what I had to do when I was shifting. I was noticing the emotion. I noticed it here and in my diaphragm. Now I'm thinking about the relationship that I want to create. Yeah, I'm connecting to that wise part of me. I'm connecting to that loving part of me. I'm connecting to the relationship I was created with. I'm connecting with these reminders. My bones were here to hold me up from the inside, to hold me together. My skin is designed to keep all of my parts together, to keep me together, to help me feel held from the outside, to keep all of my parts. So no need to judge this body and call it names, realizing instead it's my vessel, it's my car, it moves me around. It's my hugger, it lets me reach and love the people I care about. It's my kisser, it helps me to kiss and feel that sensation of those that I love, whether on the lips or on the cheeks or on the forehead or anywhere else. It creates that love and that connection. Yeah. Creating that relationship with thank you for me being this way. Thank you for all these things that I am. Thank you for this body that takes care of me. Thank you for this mind that is the most amazing computer ever. And so now when I pray, thank you. Thank you that you say that all I have to do is come to you. Thank you that you say all I have to do is ask and you'll listen. All I have to do is just knock and you'll answer. All I have to do is ask you this prayer and you're already answering it because you know I needed that need to be met. Because you say that you're better than any wonderful parent. You say that the gifts that a wonderful parent can give are like rocks to what you give us. And so now my prayers can sound like, thank you so much for hearing me. Thank you so much for hearing when I come to you. Please help me in this way. Please help me in this regard. Please show me what I need to do to make this happen. Please show me who I need to ask to get this done. Please help me to know if I just need to be still and listen. Please help this person that I love. And then ending it with gratitude. After you're listening. And sometimes listening just means being still for a few moments. And let's just do that. Being still, being grateful, connecting with this body, connecting to God, connecting to that bigger part of the universe, connecting to the fact that we were created to love each other, love ourselves as we love one another, loving ourselves with compassion and understanding, loving who we were created to be. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That's joyful. Listening. Listening to love. I hear it. As you hear your heartbeat. Listening to comfort. I feel it as I hear my breath, as I feel my skin wrapped around me, holding me together, helping me do what I need to do what I love. I feel it with every step I take. I hear it and the I love yous of others, and the breeze outside, the sun that warms us, keeps life living. Allow yourself now to think about any part of the word that moves you and guides you. Love myself as I love others, or love others as I love myself. Oh yeah, so I have to love myself kindly. Focus first on all the beautiful things that God says for us to do and be. Yes. Remembering that sin just means missing the mark. It doesn't mean that we're bad and deserves punishment and all these things. It means get back on track. So we're no longer off the mark. We're focused back again on loving ourselves, loving others, loving God, being in gratitude, prayers that are filled with knowing they'll be answered. Just maybe not the way we're asking, maybe not the way we think, but they'll be answered in one way or another. Sometimes the answer is no. Allowing ourselves to connect, reminding ourselves we can trust even in the pain. Taking a nice deep breath. Notice how that feels. Notice how you have a beautiful spiritual relationship. Notice how you can trust yourself. You were created for it. And then number 7, take all of these things that you've just learned, and anytime a negative thought comes up, reframe it into what's really true. So a negative thought we once thought was true. Like mine was, I'm not good enough. Even God doesn't love me. Painful, right? It was. So, okay, so I can reframe that into what's really true. If a friend was saying that, how would I support them? Say, honey, God loves you. Tell me how much God loves you. And then let them answer. Well, I don't know. I don't feel like God loves me. Well, are there times when you do feel that God loves you? Well, yeah. What are those times? When I'm doing something good, or when I'm helping other people, or I'm being kind, or I'm making a difference. Okay, good. And what if God was the most loving parent and he loves you even when you're doing something bad? Do you not love your kids when they're bad? You might be pissed at them, but you still love them. You don't collapse it together and say, well, I'm pissed, I don't love you. Now, there are some parents that do. It's because they don't know better. They have their own stuff to work on. And so they're collapsing it, and their negative thinking is getting in the way, and they think it's true. But if a parent is on a proper wavelength with this stuff that we're talking about, they would be able to say, that is negative behavior. That is not okay. I still love you, but you're still having a consequence. The same thing with yourself. You're still going to have your consequences from the things that you do. That's just the natural cause and effect. But it doesn't mean you're not loved. And you get to move forward knowing that you can love yourself even if you make mistakes. Actually, you love yourself because you're making the mistakes, because it means you're living life. You're not taking this life that you've been given and squandering it away and doing nothing with it. Now, that's not to say somebody who can't get out and live life, right? There are people who can't get out and live life. That doesn't mean you're squandering it. You're doing the best you can with your life. You're getting out of bed if you can. You're taking care of your body the best you can. And even if you're locked in your own body, which I've worked with clients like that, you have people around you that are pouring love into you. Allow yourself to accept it. Allow yourself to feel that love. Allow yourself to take any negative thinking. Realize it's just a thought that you created, like a little bubble. You create the bubble. There's that thought bubble. You know what? I don't like that one. I want to create a different one. Pop that one. Ooh, I like that one. Yeah. That's happy, that's healthy. And so it allows you, no matter where you're at in your life, to be able to create this. So number one, notice the negative thought. Number two, notice the emotion that comes along with it and what's needed. Number three, notice the relationship that you're creating with yourself, with that thinking, and with God, with that thinking, with your spiritual aspect. Notice you can look and read the word and practice it. Right? That helps you to step into, oh, I want to do these beautiful things. I want to love unconditionally, but I want to learn how to love unconditionally and not let people step on me, right? We think it means the same thing. It doesn't. Allow yourself to trust yourself, to trust God even when you're in pain, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. That trust helps you to grow and heal even quicker. Number six, practice hypno prayer. And I showed you exactly what it looks like. Basically, you're taking like a story of goodness and you're bringing yourself into it with your prayer life, your spiritual life. You're bringing it into deep love and deep acceptance because that's what it's about. That's what you deserve. That's what every single person deserves. Even the worst person in the world was born to deserve that. They just don't know it, and so they're not using it. And then number seven, anytime a negative thought comes up, you're going to reframe it. And guys, if you can't do this on your own, it's not your fault. It takes practice. So try it out. Let me know how it's working for you. And then we can do it together. Now, on here, on Wednesday, every week, I come on here at 8:15 a.m. Eastern time. Oh, Jackie says I shared. Good morning, beautiful. When you have these things and you're practicing them, you see what works. And then you see what doesn't work. So instead of beating yourself up about what doesn't work, bring it back and share what didn't work. It doesn't matter if you're pissy about it. Go for it. I don't care. I don't take it personally. And even if I do, I get over it. The idea is I want to help you learn these things. And I'm coming to you on Wednesday to do it to support you. I'm here at 8:15. Usually I'm done by 8:45, but I went over for you guys. And now I'm going to run over to my water yoga, and get my exercise on for today. So I'm practicing my own self-care, as I recommend to you guys as well. And I want to thank you, Jackie, Miriam, Melissa, anyone else who comes on to watch the replay. Oh, and Dr. Robitaille, shout outs, I want to thank you guys so much for being here and taking this on, taking on your life, listening to this stuff. It's very different. It's not stuff I grew up with, right? It's stuff I had to learn, and it was hard learning. So don't feel like you have to do it on your own. I had people I learned from, and yet there was still stuff I had to learn on my own because I wasn't quite getting it from one particular person. So I had to go to a different person. Hey there, Tony and Peter. Oh, look at you guys, everybody. So taking this stuff on is a big deal. There are people all around us who avoid all of it. And some of them will avoid it the rest of their lives because they're afraid. They think the way they're doing it is the only way they can because that's all they know how. So share this information just like Jackie did. Get it out there. Jackie said this really hits home. I've watched a couple times. Oh, gotcha. That was the other one. Okay, good. I'm glad. So yeah, I love Jackie. She's so awesome. She takes this stuff and she watches it like homework. And I would suggest if you have time, do the same thing. Come back, take notes, because this stuff really works. And I share it because it's worked for me. And that's why I do it. So allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to see that. Allow yourself to make the difference in your life. And notice that you're going to start to see others are seeing it going, huh, what are you doing? What do you got that I don't got? I want some of that. And you're going to be able to show them how they can trust themselves and they can grow their spiritual life by sharing this information with them. All right, cool beans. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I love you guys, all of you so much. And Timothy, I know you'll probably pop on. Thank you. Give you a shout out. He's always watching the replays. You guys take care of you and know that you're loved. Know that you get to trust you because that's what you were created for. any of that stuff that you make up about yourself, it's not true. And if you're not sure how to stop it, reach out to me, right? My number's over here, 954-657-3407. You can reach me on any platform. And if you don't catch me, call me, text me. That's always the quickest way to do it. You can email me, tammystarworkman@gmail.com. And anyway, just make sure that you reach me. And if by chance I don't reply, it just means it might take a day, which is okay. But you can always reach me any other way. So make sure you get the support. Don't be like, oh, she's too busy. No, whatever. It just means maybe I missed that one. Maybe something came through and it popped along, or who knows. I'm here to support. I'm here to help. We can set up a breakthrough consult and I can give you lots of tools, whether we work together or not. I want to get the information out there, because if I'm getting it to you, you can refer other people to me and I'll get it to them and we'll get this information out. It needs to be spread across the world. So many people are suffering. So many people are dealing with anxiety and stress and overwhelm and feeling not good enough and believing they have to be perfect, and their relationships are falling apart. They're struggling with their kids. Kids can't stand their parents. This stuff changes that. People are in the midst of divorce. This can stop it, or it can help them go through it in a much safer way for each other. It can help them stop taking it out on their kids, or it can help somebody take on their business and take on their career in ways that they never thought that they could, because they're stuck and they're limited. This will help them. So share it, share it, share it. Share it like it's candy. Share it like it's chocolate. Share it like it's a lollipop. Get it out there. Right? Whatever your favorite something is, chips, candy, share it like that. Because people do not deserve to be stuck in the places they're stuck. And I've been there, and I know those of you that have worked with me, you've been there. And we know it's possible. And we know it's something that they carry the rest of their life. These tools, they're part of your mind, your subconscious mind. All right, I could go on and on forever telling you how your life is beautiful and you deserve good things. But what do? Bring it in. Big squishy hugs. Because you deserve it. And even if you don't believe you do, take it from me. All right. You take care of you. I will see you next week. Let me know what worked. Let me know what didn't. Let me know what challenges you've had. Let me know how I can support you. Any new topics that you're thinking of? Like, ooh, I've got this challenge going on and I'd really love your thoughts or ideas or tips or tools. Let me know, because I want to make this as individual to you as possible, because why otherwise would I do this? I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste your time with just bedtime stories. All right, guys, you take care of you. Have a beautifully blessed week. Know that you're loved, and check out the posts that I post each day. They're here to support you, and just take them on and start your day with a fresh mindset. Ciao for now. Mwah.